Hey everybody! I am so excited to be on live today. I literally couldn't sleep just a few days ago, and I had so much on my mind, and I was thinking, you know what, I have to throw something together. I have to share this quick truth. I'm about 9 months pregnant. I'm actually coming to you guys live from my new baby's nursery. And we're almost finished with all the details and things are coming together really nicely. So if you're hopping on live, definitely say hello. I want to know who you are and where you're listening from. I would love to know. Hi, Christina. I'm really excited to be sharing these 15 secrets with you. Over the last 18 months, I've been building my own personal brand, and I'm going to get into that within the next 5 days. So I put a poll in the group. I said, would you rather see me on Facebook Live? Hi, Kayla. Hi, Anya. So glad you guys are here. Spring, Texas. Hi, Ashley. Hi, you guys. So I put a poll and said, would you rather see this, via Facebook Live and bite-sized chunks daily, or would you rather see it as a, masterclass where I put it all together? And really it was half and half. So, thank you. So it was half and half. So I actually decided to do both. So if it was better for you to watch the lives just together, each day, or if it's better to watch it for you at the end, I'm going to be doing kind of like a recap. Now, I am speaking directly from my heart and exactly my truth and my experience. So if you know me well, you know I cannot say the same thing twice. So I think the Facebook Lives and the Masterclass in conjunction, if you can catch both of them, are probably going to be incredibly valuable, just because I am pretty much doing this on the fly. I want you guys who desire to have a stellar brand and make, successful income on your own as an entrepreneur to do that. And I've been doing that, and I've been helping tons of other clients do that over the last 18 months or so. And now I'm kind of taking a step back, you guys. I'm not working with clients one-on-one. My group program has completely completed, and I'm really stepping back. I am going to spend time with my baby. I'm going to, put being a mom my #1 priority. And I've worked super hard, for years as an entrepreneur to set myself up to be able to do so. But before I did, and this is why I couldn't sleep the other night, I just felt this tug in my heart to put together something, fully and share it with you guys about my top secrets and tips, and have these videos available for, the next few months while I was not as involved in the Mompreneur Club. So if we haven't met, my name's Natalie Sorensen. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 13 years. I didn't go to college at all. I've always been in business for myself. I'm now almost a mom of 3. And, my passion is to help empower other women to go out there and do the same thing. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to, be status quo. Hi, Christina. Hi, Beth. So glad you guys are here. But you can totally break that mold. I never wanted to do what everybody else was doing. I wanted to always dance to the beat of my own drum. I always wanted to chase the impossible and prove to the world that it was possible. And I'm still doing that every single day. So, that is why I've created the Mompreneur Club. I busted the myth that even I had as a young entrepreneur. I'd been in business for 5 years, and I struggled daily with thinking that I could be an amazing, fantastic rock star mom and have a successful business. And so I walked away from my business. I sold it. I decided to, hop back in literally months later because I had lost this part of me, literally, that I knew was this highest calling in my life. I'm like, I don't know what I'll be able to teach these kids if if it's not, business and entrepreneurship, because that is where my passion and heart was. So dove back into it with this challenge, or this huge umbrella over me going, is it possible? Can you really do it? Can I combine what I think is a good mother, which I'd been raised by a stay-at-home mom. My husband had been raised by a stay-at-home mom. And so we had these present moms in our lives, and just really amazing at domestic goddess things. And those weren't things that I loved. What I loved was making money, and I loved, the fulfillment that it brought me to go out and contribute my gifts and my, talents to the world, on top of, be an awesome mom. So if you guys follow me on Facebook, I still always juggle both sides. I'm throwing birthday parties or creating, cheer outfits for my girls, because I have this passion for creativity. But then I also, want to provide for my family. I want to take my family on vacation. I want to do, contribute in a huge way to our household. So if you guys don't know, my husband and I are both entrepreneurs. And we're always running in a lot of different directions. And so people say, how do you do it? There's lots of questions that come to me. I've been getting emails or inbox messages. So that's what this is all about. The 15 secrets to a stellar high-end brand that sells like crazy. So there's going to be 15 secrets. So I'm going to break them up over 5 days. So there's going to be just a few secrets every day. And the first few are super, super important, and they're really, they're robust and they're deep, and I could talk about each one of them for probably an hour in itself. But I'm going to try to keep this really short and to the point, where even if you're watching this on the replay, you can come, you can learn a lot, you can be inspired, and by all means, you can take action to create the business and brand of your dreams. That's most what I want for you. So number one is get over starting over. Okay. So in my life, some of the hardest moments have been for me to wrap my mind around starting over again. Okay. In my entrepreneurial journey, I've had 7 different businesses, and it's always hard for me to, kind of recognize, oh my gosh, I have to do something new. So, 2 years ago, I was struggling with the thought, I had become very successful as a top earner in a direct sales network marketing company. And I knew in my heart, I had crossed that road where I knew I was made for something more. I had been challenged. Clarity was coming to me. But the hardest thing was oh my gosh, the world knows me as this. How do I start over for this? And this is something that I see my clients struggle with all the time. It's really just being able to bite off the chunk to say, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to expand, or I'm going to brand myself instead of branding my company or branding my business. I'm literally going to become kind of the shining light of everything that I do. So, I don't ever believe that you're ever truly starting over, especially this day in social media, and, you're building this following always. So, if you just started your Facebook yesterday, you have a disadvantage to the person who's been on Facebook for 5 years, right? You have more friends, you have more of a reach, you have more acquaintances and people that you don't even maybe really know face to face, but you just know via social media. And so you're never starting over. Even if you're starting a new business or you're launching a new extension of that, you really aren't ever starting over. And so that's what's so cool about entrepreneurship, is anything that I've ever done has led up to the point where I am today. So I can't just say that, oh, the last, little bit to build this business was what I needed. And so if you kind of embrace every thing that you've ever done, whether it be a career, whether it would be a place that you lived that you no longer live anymore, you have built a reach. You've built a network of people right around you during that experience, during that time in their life that can serve you from where you're at. So don't ever get hard on yourself and beat up yourself over, oh, I'm going to have to, build a whole new team, or I'm going to have to start from scratch again. There really is no such thing. And so that was point number one, is get over starting over. For me, in building my personal brand, and this is what I teach my clients all the time, is instead of you being a one business entrepreneur where you're focused on that main business, you need to create your personal brand as like an umbrella, okay? And when I really took hold of this and decided that Natalie Sorensen or NatalieSorensen.com was going to be a brand, and all of my passions and all of my different entrepreneurial journeys could just be a part of this bigger umbrella, which was going to be my personal brand, and that I wanted different offerings that would fit for different people. If I wanted to become a, 7-figure business owner, if I wanted to become a multimillionaire, you need more streams of income than just one, right? And so developing this personal brand wasn't even really starting over. It was just like, I'm going out there to create a brand for me, to where that at any time I could pivot, I could add to it, I could take something away if I was no longer passionate about it. But no one can take away your brand that's yours, because your personal brand is just you, right? So if you're so focused, laser focused on building just one business instead of building your overall brand, your overall mission, and making that clear to the world to where they get to know you instead of just getting to know your company or your products or whatever you're doing at that time, makes it a lot easier to be this multi-passionate entrepreneur where you can add a service, you can create something, you can, add a stream of income really, really easily. Hi, Linda. Hi, Valerie. I'm so glad you guys are on. So that is, to me, the step one, or the number one secret is, don't ever beat yourself up like you're starting over, because that doesn't even really exist. And then focus on your umbrella, which is you, your story, your strengths, and just creating this personal brand that at any point you can do something else. So this is something that I've been able to do. You guys who have been here in the Mompreneur Club for a significant amount of time, you've seen me have different ideas and pop up different things because I've created this umbrella and this brand where I can do so. So if I'm extremely passionate about one thing at this time or that, I can easily flex to that. I can add it. I can, create a stream of income like that. And I really deeply desire for you guys to do that too. It's super smart because it gives you some stability and some structure in the crazy entrepreneurial world, which you're not always in control of. And I know in my career in network marketing, I was loving the business and what it could do for people. I was loving the success that it could bring my family. But the thing that I didn't love was that ultimately I wasn't in control. So like if I had an idea that a new product would be amazing, or here's where we should do or go or whatever, there was nothing I could do about it. I was kind of sitting on my hands and I was waiting for somebody else to. But in this other world where you could have a, strong, stable business in network marketing, but also have your personal brand that maybe you could launch something or implement this idea that you have, to me, creates happiness and balance, and there's just all this flow, right? So never think that you have to walk away from one thing to start another thing. They're all in conjunction under your umbrella of your personal brand, okay? So that's the first thing. Now we're going to jump into, oh, awesome. There's people joining for the first time live. I just want to say welcome. So excited that you're here. I'm excited about the next 4 or 5 days getting to share all this with you. But I do want to try to keep it tight where people can watch on the replay and just get the information that they need and take massive action. So number 2 is something that I am so wildly passionate about. Oh, awesome. Brandy had a great question. Do you do an LLC? If so, do you make a big deal about what you named it? No. Mine's named something like almost as if I owned rental properties. So it's just an LLC and a brand. You can create different LLCs underneath your LLC. I'm definitely not a tax professional. I just know how we're doing it. You know, where we do create different entities, but a lot of it I run through just one LLC. So the second thing is get to know what your zone of genius is. So if you're watching this today and you have not read the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, it is one of my favorite books in the whole entire world, you guys. I read it for the first time maybe 2 years ago. I've read it at least 5 times since. It just spoke to my inner soul, you guys. And it has for so many of my clients, and getting to know what your zone of genius even means. So this all started out for me. I'm going to take you back on my journey a little bit. When we moved from Oklahoma to Dallas, and we started going to a new church, and literally one of the first few Sundays that we were there, it was all about purpose and finding your purpose and kind of like your higher purpose and literally why you were put here on this earth. And at the time, I was obviously thinking about business. I think as an entrepreneur, your business and life kind of just mesh hand in hand. It's not like you work from 9 to 6 and then you take off and you don't think about it anymore. So the first thing I thought of is like, am I fulfilling my purpose like with my business and my calling? And the answer was no. I'm playing so small. Like, this is what people know me as. At that time, it was like skincare and anti-aging. And I was like, no, are you kidding me? Like, so I started asking myself those questions of what is my higher purpose? And if I were to leave today, had I done my work? And what was that one thing that I knew I was here for? And the one thing that came to my mind in me defining my purpose and kind of moving into my zone of genius was that God kind of equipped me with this personality that was like an I will until, not a scared, timid, like I want to stand behind everybody else. It was always this personality trait of mine that was like fearless. And I'm not saying I don't have fears, you guys, I do. And I'll be very transparent over the next few days and talk about, you know, what some of those are and some of my biggest struggles and hurdles along the way. But I'm not a person who says I can't. I'm a person who says if anybody can do it, I can do it. And that's this mindset that I really believe that I was blessed with. But it isn't about me. So when I was thinking about defining my purpose, I was like, God, I meet so many people every single day, or people all around me who are like, I'm not sure if I can, or I hope. And I'm like, I want people to know that they can do anything, that anybody can do anything that they want, right? So you know, if you don't know the skills that you need to go and do something, learn them, right? Like I'm a fanatic about learning, you guys. I'm not born with every knowledge and skill that I have. I'm constantly learning and searching and researching and reading and, you know, hiring coaches and help and mentors and programs and things like that. So I truly believe that, you know, that purpose that I needed to fulfill was that I needed to help empower more women to know that they could. And if me standing by their side, cheering them along, empowering them, pouring my belief that anything is possible into them, because maybe they weren't raised like that, maybe they didn't think like that, you know, and my dad did tell me that as a little girl. If anybody can do it, you can do it. And that was like this purpose that I knew that I had in this calling in the world, okay? So when I started thinking about, I'm going to talk a lot about zone of genius and what that even is. So I've never done a Facebook Live. I've worked with my clients defining their zone of genius, and we've dove into that, but I've never done a Facebook Live to even talk about the definition of zone of genius. You've maybe heard me say it. You've maybe heard me talk about stepping into my own, but I just want to give you guys kind of a rough definition. It's not in the dictionary. It's not even something that many people talk about. And when I read his book for the first time, it just lit me on fire, okay? So if you guys have heard the Alicia Keys song, This Girl Is on Fire, I'm not going to sing it to you, but hopefully you have it playing in your head. That is one of the most empowering, igniting songs for me. I play it to pump my kids up on the way to cheer. I play it when I need to hear it, when I'm just having an off day, okay? So what I really believe, when you've found your zone of genius and you've honed in on what that is and how it feels and what it feels, the definition for me is it feels like you're on fire. Like you literally just are setting the world on fire with your greatest gifts. Now, this does not mean your life is perfect. This does not mean everything's easy. It doesn't alleviate anything, but it does give you that sensation of like, this girl is on fire, you know, like you could sing at the top of your lungs, okay? So if you're not feeling that in your current business right now or in a daily basis in your life, something is missing and you need to search. So based on this video, will you make a commitment to me that you will find your zone of genius, that you will search, that you will take the time, that you will be committed to yourself with the tenacity that it takes, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you're just going to think about this today and be like, oh, I watched this video by Natalie. I already know my zone of genius. It's so clear. If you don't, I love these comments. Thank you guys. So here's the deal. Your zone of genius is your innate talent, okay? Something that you naturally excel at or that you've maybe developed because of some situation in your life, okay? So you're either born with it or it's been conditioned or learned or, gained by life experience, okay? So it's your innate talent plus your greatest passion. So how do you define your greatest passion? And I say the activity that you would choose to do on day's end with joy, okay? So when you get lost in time and you don't even know where time's gone, that is something you're incredibly passionate about, okay? So if you aren't feeling that on a daily basis in your business right now, if you have a business or whatever you're doing, your job, your, life, if it is just sucking you dry and you do not feel on fire and that you could do it with passion if you weren't getting paid for it. And this is how I identify. A lot of my clients come to me and they're saying, well, I just don't know. I love this about it. I don't love this about it. And I say, okay, stop here. If you weren't getting paid, would you still do this? And then a lot of clarity comes. They're like, absolutely not. If you're stuck in a rut and you're telling yourself, oh, this is my zone of genius because I love these parts of it. Maybe this resonates with what you're saying, but I feel stuck and I can't get to the next level of success and I can't find motivation and, it just seems so hard. And I actually ask you, well, what are the things that it takes to be successful, or what are you going to have to do to get where you want to go to make these dreams come true? And you start telling me them and none of them sound fun to you and none of them you would do if you didn't get paid. And, it's kind of like torture. Well, that's why you don't have motivation. That's why you're not where you want to be, because you haven't found the right thing. You're not doing the right thing, okay? It shouldn't feel hard, right? Making money or doing whatever you do to market your business. I'm not saying it should always feel comfortable, because I love to feel a little bit nervous and I love for my clients to too, because that means you're really pushing that envelope. You're really going outside. But the truth is, if you're not loving it and it's not easy to do, it's going to be massively difficult, to make your dreams come true with that, okay? So your zone of genius is your innate talent plus your greatest passion. I want you guys to have a joy in your life for the work that you do. It has to feel fun, you guys. We are women who are emotional, connected creatures, and we want to enjoy our environment. That's why we decorate our homes, or that's why we, enjoy great tasting food. And like, it is really about enjoying life. So to me, success is not all about making money. I've made tremendous amounts of money and didn't have ultimate fulfillment and didn't feel ultimately successful as much as I have when I was living in my zone of genius. Okay, so in the book, he talks about your zone of competence or your zone of excellence, and those are zones where many of us stay based on what other people think we should do, right? So if you went to college and got a degree in this because your parents thought that you should, maybe you were good at it and maybe you did make straight A's or made great grades, but it still wasn't your zone of genius, okay? So in the book, he talks about these different levels, and so just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's your zone of genius, right? So let me grab a drink of water real quick, you guys. You can see that I'm pretty passionate and lit up about this stuff. But for me, the other day, I made onesies for the new baby. I am a naturally creative person. I love doing projects, and some of my friends on Facebook were like, will you make me some of these? You should sell these. And I was laughing inside because I'm like, this is my zone of excellence. Clearly, I'm really good at it. Clearly, I love doing it. But it's not my zone of genius because it doesn't bring me my highest level of fulfillment the way that I'm doing in my business right now. So although I could create a stream of income, yes, people in the world want the product. That was proven when I got some of the messages from people. But when I asked myself some of the defining questions, somebody else can do those, y'all. I could either teach somebody how to do it really well, or there's thousands of other people on Etsy that do them and that is their career. And maybe for some of them, that is their zone of genius. So we're all created differently. And I think everyone in the world fits together perfectly through our zones of genius as long as we will stay true to ourselves. So another example of that is me expanding my brand into like the lashes. So somebody could say, well, why the lashes but not, baby apparel that's personalized? And I do have more of a passion for the end result, which is this fulfillment of a person feeling just a little bit more beautiful about themselves to where they'll go out and take a little bit more action or stand a wee bit taller or do something a little more boldly because of just this one little thing that made them feel a little bit more beautiful. And for me, having gorgeous lashes is that little bit of boost that I need sometimes. So how's that different than a baby onesie? Like, a baby's gonna be cute no matter what they're wearing. So that fulfillment of the end result or whatever that real attachment for my purpose and mission is just not there as much, right? So it's not just about making money, it's about searching. So I'm gonna go into the 4 things that if you want to feel on fire, if you really do, want to hone in and really figure out what your zone of genius is, what do you need to do? Number 1, you need to commit. Commit to yourself, commit to me, commit to the Mompreneur Club, that you are going to find what your zone of genius is and that you're going to be committed to live in it. And I don't mean necessarily full time and walk away from your job or another business or whatever, but commit to moving forward in that, okay? Number 2 is get support. Okay, what I mean by support is not saying to your, father, for example, who maybe has worked the same corporate job for 60 years, he's now in retirement, saying, hey, what do you think my zone of genius is, right? He might say, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. You don't need to be listening to that craziness. You need to just go get a job and do the same thing just like I did, and that will lead you to success, okay? So when I mean get support, you need to get support or have a mentor or make a decision to link arms with somebody that you're like, I want that. You guys, there is a difference spending time with people who do not reside and live in their zone of genius and people who do. Okay, there's a feeling that I get when I'm around somebody that I know is living out their highest calling, and when they're just successful, okay, or they're just kind of like doing what they do kind of good, and like they've done it for a while and they're comfortable and they're like, hey, let's go get a drink and we're gonna just talk about this. Or people that really resonate with a lot of negativity when you're around them and they're complaining and this and that, they're definitely not in their zone of genius, right? So I don't just mean get support or have somebody around you, just anybody. But make sure that it's the right person, somebody that you know's found theirs and they're living it. And that's what I think is so powerful and so amazing about me finding the coaching industry and finding some of the people that I've had mentor me over the last, little bit, and that I've been able to do that for many other people, because people just don't have the surroundings around them. One of the girls in my program in the live event for B2SO, she's like, my goal is to go home and find 5 friends that are just like you guys. And I said, good freaking luck. It might take you 6 years. Your best bet is just to stay connected with the women in this group, because it's really hard to find that support and that tribe of people who understand what you understand. So number 3 is discover your innate talent. The most important thing to ask yourself is, how do you do what you do? Okay? Or maybe you ask this to somebody who you know is going to give you a really honest opinion. So how do I do what I do different? Okay? Another question you might ask is, how has working with me impacted your life? So maybe there's this person that you feel like really connected to that will give you this honest feedback. Sometimes we can't find that on our own, so we have to ask other people. So those are some great questions to find out your innate talent. These are just the things that you were born with, and sometimes we don't even see them, and we definitely discount them, okay? So my best friend just threw me the most amazing baby shower on earth, and that is totally her innate talent she was born with. Now, she's learned things along the way, and she's gotten a lot better at it because she's done a lot of them, but she has that in her. That bone of creativity and that ultimate service is already there, and she gets a lot of reward out of it by living that out. So number 4 is find your greatest passion. Here's what people, this is another place where people get stuck. Your greatest passion changes all the time, y'all. We are women, so one day we are all about this, or for this year we're all about this, and then it can quickly change. And so if you become massively passionate about something that you never even have before, chase it, you guys. That's where you'll wake up every day feeling on fire, right? So your passions maybe haven't changed, or maybe they have, but be willing to ask yourself, what are they? And if it's not the same as what it was a year ago or 2 years ago, quit fooling yourself, okay? Quit talking yourself into saying like, well, I loved this then, so I should still be loving it now, or it was so much fun then, so I need to just make myself stick it out or stick through it. No, you do not have to, okay? I'm not saying quit. I'm not saying give up, but I'm saying find what truly is your passion and what truly is going to light you up, and pursue that. So those are the 4 things that can help you determine what your zone of genius is, figure it out, reach out to somebody in this group for support, or talk to somebody about this, or read the book The Big Leap with a partner, whatever you need to do. But it is super important to me. So number 3 is kind of an extension of finding your zone of genius, and this is one way that I help my clients find what theirs is. I dive into, their personality, and I get to know them really quickly by taking personality tests, seeing what their strengths are. These things blow my mind, y'all. I took one just the other day, and it was this simple test. It had like 7 questions. and it was about colors. And so it was like, oh, Samantha says, you need a drink. I have this surge of energy. Maybe it's because I know I'm towards the end and I'm about to have this baby and I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that this energy has come back to me, but I'm grateful for it nonetheless, because I have been very tired. Okay, so this personality test was a simple test, and it was, the result came back, I was a red personality, but I never ever guessed red in the thing. It was like, what color would you paint your bedroom? Well, I would never paint my bedroom red. Like, I hate the color red, actually, as far as like having it in my home or, whatever. I thought it was super, super interesting that it came back and said it was red when I had said I would paint my room white. My second favorite color is black. You know, these questions I'd answered really honestly. But I want to give you guys two resources that I feel like have the best personality test to help you define who you are, what your strengths are, what really makes your personality stand out, different from the world. And they are 17personalities.com has a free test. I've had lots of my clients take that test, but one that I found most recently is called How to Fascinate. This is all about finding your key personality strengths and who you are for your brand. So Sally Hoggood is all about personal branding and even companies helping brand themselves. And she has an amazing test that's very extensive. The video at the end tells you really like what your strengths are and how the world perceives you and how you can play on that. And that can really help you create your personal brand and really figure out how you're going to serve the world. And, you know, something that I truly believe and why I'm so passionate about coaching is I believe that each of us have these innate strengths and these talents and these skills that other people don't possess. And so when we lock arms, when we actually fess up and say, oh my gosh, I actually have this and the world needs it, and I didn't realize that everybody's not like this, then you can actually serve in a higher calling, and that there's thousands of other people around you that don't have that innate strength or that innate ability, and you can help them. One of mine is ideas. You know, somebody's like, what should I name this? Or how should this be? And I mean, ideas just flow to me. It's very simple. Whereas they might think about it for a week. I might be able to come up with a name and then have it out there tomorrow. Which do you think will help somebody succeed, right? But everybody listening to this has their own innate talents and strengths and gifts. So find them. Take one of those personality tests. Post them in the group. I want to know what you guys are. It helps me get to know my community and even serve you better to know. It's one of the most fun, fascinating things that I could have you guys do. So that's quite a bit of information. I get it. I didn't even prepare a lot of content because I knew when I started talking about these things, it would just free flow from me, because this is exactly what I have done and have helped other people do in launching their brand. So tell me what you got out of this video, what you learned the most. Take a personality test, whichever one you prefer. You can go check both of them out. If you think you know what your zone of genius is, make a post about it in the group. I want to hear from you. I want to engage with you over the next few days because I know a time is coming where I can't, and I will be snuggling with babies and listening to amazing baby sounds. But this week, that's what this is all about. So show up, you guys. Be here in this group, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll be doing secrets 3 through 6. So if you loved this, share it with your friends. Invite people here. They can watch the replay. This is going to be up in just a few minutes. But then make sure that they're on live tomorrow because I would love to see them here. Take care, you guys.